Hello there, everyone. This is Evan, or Johnny, whatever y'all want to call me. Thank y'all for tuning in to this video tonight, whenever y'all are watching this. Making a video today. Uh, Talking about some things. I'm not really even sure where I'm going to go with this video, but all I can really say is that life lately has been a bit of a roller coaster. Been a bit of a emotional roller coaster in a lot of ways. Um, I just want to thank you all for tuning in, and I'm just going to share where I am at currently with life. I guess, really, coming from somebody who has been convinced to not see the value of their own life, and I think that there is a lot of people who can relate to that. Being an empathic person, and I am drunk in this video, and I'll probably be drinking more. So if y'all don't want to see this video because of the fact that I'm drinking, I totally understand that. Um, just click off it right now. And for whoever is willing to listen to this, I thank you for seeing me for where I am at right now. Neither one of those is bad or good. But I'm in a place of very much uncertainty, and disbelief of the fact of having repeated so many times the same thing. I'm not sure if disbelief is really the right word for it, but I'm doing my best to explain where I'm at. But I'm not sure what the right next thing is to do. I haven't been sure of that for a while, actually. I've been pretty much convinced, not fully, but very much so convinced that the what is the point, you know? And there's a lot of people in this position, which is why I'm making this video. And some people might need to hear something like this from somebody who feels this way. Genuinely. Because I really don't know. I really don't know where to go from here. And sometimes that is the best place to be, where you really don't know where to go next or what the next move is. Sometimes you just got to do something, whatever it is, to get to the next place, whatever that is. As many of the healthy things that I participate in, that I do for myself, for my body, for my temple, there's still a deep underlying feeling of unworthiness not feeling good enough to be a part of something or anything because of where I'm at and where other people have solidified their beliefs with. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, those people who have solidified certain beliefs and certain things with where they're at. It's just this general feeling of just wanting to be in complete isolation, away from everybody, not wanting to deal with anybody's energy. Because when you are an empath and you truly do feel other people's pain and you feel that on a very deep level, at least for me, I got to a point where I was like, all right, I've done this a few times. I tried to connect with somebody. I tried to connect with a female who I thought was really cool. I liked her a lot. But then later on, I realized that at least this is where I'm coming from my perspective. Might not be fully absolutely true, but this is where I'm at. And I know a lot of people feel this way. I basically this particular person, they trauma dumped on me one day. And it felt like somebody was like interested in me to some degree. And so after that whole thing of listening to them talk about themselves and their life and, this, that, and the other, and certain things I actually really agreed with, then I ended up asking them, hey, actually, as they were walking away, actually, I was like, hey, dude, actually, would you want to hang out sometime? And they're like, all of a sudden they turn around, they seem like super happy, super excited at the fact that I said that. And they asked me, oh, like, what socials do you got or whatever? And I was like, I got Facebook, I guess. Well, no, that's not really the way it went. It's like, do you have Facebook? And I said, yes, but I don't really use it. And then they asked me about Snapchat, and I was like, no, I haven't had that ever since I was like 21, and I'm like almost 29 now. It's crazy to think that how long that has been around, honestly. That's not what I said, but I'm just like, I'm speaking partially from that experience and this experience. And what they said distinctly that I should have just took initially as a red flag is that, oh yeah, Snapchat is dangerous. It's like I already knew that. I knew that when I was 21. And I was like, oh yeah, it can be dangerous. And eventually we exchanged numbers and talked a little bit. And then eventually I got to a point where I don't know who ghosted the other. I really don't know at this point. I tried talking to them a bit, and there was a little bit of back and forth, but nothing really meaningful. And it just got to a point where I was like, okay, there's nothing coming back from the other person, so I'm like, okay, fuck this. Now I'm working at the same place as this person is working. Now we got this weird fucking thing going on. That's not even a thing. That's just this like underlying weird energy that's going on. And then as the days go by and I start to kind of learn who this person more so than not really is. And I'm like, man, I kind of regret even pursuing that. And that for me just added to my perceived belief of uh, the ridiculousness of trying to date in a modern society. And I'll tell y'all what, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break because this train is going by. I don't feel like competing with that. So thank y'all for being patient. I'll be right back. All right, thank you all for being patient. And I don't want this video to seem, I don't know, like pretentious in a certain way. I think I'm overthinking it, but I'm just sharing my own experience of the ridiculousness of thinking that if you wait long enough that the right thing will come. Because waiting doesn't make something come to you. It doesn't. But I want to explain more of this just for people who might kind of have a similar kind of experience or similar kind of thing that has happened to them. And I'm not looking for advice, by the way. But hey, y'all comment whatever the fuck you want to comment. I'm just speaking my own experience. And it's a very interesting experience, I think. If y'all are wondering what I'm drinking some Our Daily Chard because they didn't have Our Daily Red. So I'm drinking Our Daily Chardonnay. But anyway. So I want to say this too. It had been 7 years since I had even considered asking anybody of the opposite sex to like hang out or anything like that. I didn't even specifically say do you want to go on a date or something. I was like, do you want to hang out sometime? That's what I said. I don't know if that was a mistake or if this whole thing was just a complete and utter fucking mistake. It kind of feels like that now because this person, I don't even want to go into, honestly, I'm not going to go into all the details of this other person because that's unfair. But it's a it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing indeed. So long story short, I felt like I had actually done something really good for myself. Like I had like this almost like childlike joy within me where I was like, holy shit. I hadn't like at least felt like I had pursued something like that or ever. Honestly, the last time I pursued something like that when I was 14. When I was 21, I was pursued. And now at age 28, I decide, I actually kind of like this person. They seem cool. But anybody can seem cool on the outside. But that's beside the point. It's not to say that they're a bad person, not at all. But I don't know, I guess life circumstances and everything else and whatever else they're going through just didn't make it a good thing. And maybe it was partially my fault too. I have no idea. And I'm not going to put labels on it or try to speculate that too much. But it gave me a fire inside. It gave me a fire inside to be like, holy shit, I actually did that. After all these years, I finally just did it. You know? But that didn't last very long at all. It's actually the. I mean, you could call it a relationship because you have two people talking between each other for a little bit. It's not a serious relationship, but it's a relationship to some degree. And so, really, this has been the shortest relationship I've ever been in as far as significant relationships go. But, and it's not really even a significant relationship. It was just, somebody who I thought might be a cool person to hang out with and to, share with. And, the fact that they're a female and I really don't, I don't hang out with really females or males to an extended degree at all anyway. And I thought that it would be cool to, try to get to know a female who's going through real shit. But that de-escalated itself very quickly. And I got to a point where I just didn't want to talk to this person because, I felt ignored. It was, I mean, that's basically what it was. And after, going through all of this, I realized that this person had been, is involved in doing things that I really don't agree with. Um, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. It hurt me very deeply, and it's something that like that's very difficult to bring up to somebody who's like doing that kind of thing. It's like, especially don't get into relationships at your workplace. And I should have taken that advice when I first heard it, but I didn't. But that's not 100% always the case, but that's the case with this situation. And that's not the actual main reason why I quit this job. There's a lot of other different reasons that I won't fully get into. It's really just the fact of the matter of having to go to a place, give your time away to a place, you know. And there are worse places than others. But I hate to say that it only reinforced something in me to say that I'm not meant to be in a significant relationship in this life. And I honestly don't know whether that's true or not. And if not, what can I even do with my life? Can I do more without a significant relationship, or would I do more with a significant relationship? All of those possibilities lay dormant, I suppose, right? But what is the right fucking path to take? I could bang my head against fucking a brick wall over and over again until I leave this realm. And I feel like I've been doing that, honestly, for a lot of my life. Ever since I basically convinced myself I could never be loved. And that trauma still holds very deeply even after 14 years. One of the greatest healing things that I've discovered is just deep breathing. Deep breathing. And the best way that I can do that is to go onto a really long bike ride. That's the way I do it the best. Going up hills as fast as I possibly can with as much force as possible. Just forcing it, forcing it, forcing it, forcing it. You know? Sometimes before I go on a bike ride, I'm just like, I'm going to take this slow. I'm going to take this real slow. And it's like, nope. No, you're not going to take this slow. We're going to fucking force the absolute fucking shit out of this until I get close to oxygen dead. And just... you know, that type of thing. I have a very... I don't want to say it, but it's basically hypervigilant type of mindset. You know, to just do something to the absolute utmost extreme. Because if I don't, then I'm fucked, basically. And I know some of y'all relate with that. It's like you got all these different things about a man being in a relationship with a woman too. It's like all these expectations of a man to be a provider. Obviously, that's, you know, that's one of those things. But to be a provider in a world like this, in a society like this, just seems like an absolute fucking lie. Like, you're gonna give time away to some fucking corporation that doesn't give an absolute shit about you and call that providing for your loved one? I'm sorry, y'all, but this is a big reason why I come to points in life where I start to drink and I just want to leave this world. Like right now, I would much more want, like, if I could just be like an angelic assistant to somebody who is struggling in this world, dude, I would take that job right now. And I wouldn't even have to be paid anything. I would just exist as an angelic assistant. And probably have to, you know, battle demons and stuff like that. But it's like I already fucking do that anyway. I fucking hate being in this world, man. I fucking hate it so much. I punched a hole in my bathroom wall earlier because I got so fucking pissed off that when I went to go and drop off my shitty fucking polyester work clothes that I really started never wearing anyway. I just started wearing my own fucking cotton shirts because these shirts are poison anyway. They're fucking made out of goddamn plastic, which destroy your skin. You know, all this bullshit, you know. It reduces your energetic frequency wearing polyester. And I got all these fucking perfectionist beliefs about like this and that and this and that and this and that. And I got to a point of just absolute fucking crazy rage where I was dangerous. I was very dangerous at that time. When I get very angry, I'm very dangerous. I could have destroyed that whole wall if I wanted to, but I just put one hole in that wall. I was like, oh shit. Well, I guess at some point that can be fixed. But I just had to seethe in that anger and just fucking... I yelled fuck at the top of my lungs so many times. And I'm not even going to try to recite it. But all of this anger, all of this trauma, all of this stuff, I know where it comes from. And it comes from my family lineage, y'all. Any of this type of stuff that you're dealing with like 7 to 11 generations behind you. All of the stuff that came before you. And anything that you're able to heal within yourself. And if you end up having a family and children, you will be able to heal 7 to 11 generations ahead of you. You will. Because that's what I believe. I don't have any proof to believe that. Any proof to prove that, let me say. It's what I choose to believe because of where I've been led very divinely, very intuitively. Not logically, because there's no logical way. There is absolutely no logical way that I have come to this point in my life. There's no logical explanation. And so where this video has come to right now is that I want to, this is not going to be for everybody, but I want to recommend a channel for some of you who might be interested. Samuel B. Lee, spiritual psychiatrist. He has 2 different channels on YouTube that I'm aware of. And I found him through Aaron Abke. Aaron Abke very accurately disseminates Pauline doctrines about you're a lowly sinner and you were born disgusting, basically. I mean, that's really, I mean, if you believe that you're a sinner that can't do anything about yourself, you basically believe that every baby that is born is a disgusting sinner that will always be a sinner. Whether you believe that or not, I don't fucking care. I'm not going to respond to any fucking comments discussing that fucking bullshit. I don't fucking care. I'm done with that shit. I'm ready to blast through all of that fucking horseshit right now. And I know some of y'all will be like, oh, you'll always be a sinner. Yeah, you'll always be a sinner. You know, it's like, yeah, because that's what you believe about yourself. And that's what you believed about all of the fucking years of your life. And you never took right action to fucking do it yourself. And that's fine. And I still love you all the same. But when I discovered what Samuel was talking about in one of Aaron Abke's, actually a couple, because I discovered this guy, really fucking intelligent guy, became a psychiatrist and was basically afflicted with all of the known psychiatric conditions that somebody could be afflicted with, and then realized that he was a part of a system that was only treating the symptoms of all of these psychiatric conditions that everybody was being labeled with. And he very much so mirrors a very similar thing that a good brother of mine, Brother Bo, made a video on a long time ago, many years ago, talking about how to not go and get a psychiatric or a mental health label plastered onto yourself and then get some medication to try to numb or quote unquote treat or cure. No, it's always treating the symptom. It's always what it is. Always, every single time with this current so-called modern healthcare system. It's not healthcare. It's not healthcare. It is the other thing. It is the exact opposite of what I said. So I said it without saying it, but anyway. So I'm going through, I almost wanted to say midlife crisis, but that's not true at all. Because the way that people see aging all throughout my life, it's been the most annoying thing to me, even when I was a very young kid, young teenager. People would say, oh, once you get old, this, that, and this, and the other, and this, once you get old, it's like, thanks for giving me something to look forward to, y'all. What the fuck? Like, what are you fucking doing? Thanks for giving me something like, oh, once you get old, you're just gonna get old and decrepit, and you're fucking get frail and die. Yeah, you might get cancer, you might get that. But that's all they know. That's all they know. But it's so fucking annoying. Like, it's self-abusive fucking material. Like, when you're at a certain point, it gets to a point where you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why the fuck are all of these people telling me? Like, one day you're just gonna get this way, you're gonna die, and all this shit. And it's like, fuck all of you. What the fuck is this? Are we seriously all agreeing to this? Fuck that. You know what I'm fucking saying, man? That's why I can hardly ever be around anybody, because all of them believe the same fucking thing all the fucking time. And it's never just a little bit of a fucking open-mindedness about something greater. It's always like, oh, you're gonna lose all your hair one day, talked to by the people that are fucking closest to you. What the fuck? Like, I love you guys, but man, it's like you don't even know it, but you're instantly, like, completely, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? You're not even letting higher conversations happen about higher fucking consciousness because you're totally calcified in what you believe in. And it's so fucking annoying. That's why I want to leave this world. Not that I will, but entities have done a very good job to convince me that I should. And they've done a very good job of doing that. I will admit that. And saying that openly and saying that they do this is a detriment to them. They will convince you that you are not good enough. That you should just off yourself because this world isn't worth it. They will do that. They will do that. And they do that constantly to me all the fucking time. Especially when you're alone in a world that is constantly connected all the time. That's an interesting fucking paradox. When you want to completely disconnect from the world and when you're completely isolated, it's like, oh yeah, that's where they want you, Unless you have a true conviction in your heart, which I do, about seeing something completely different for this world and for your family and for everything else. And so a lot of this is my human perspective, kind of speculating on certain things about my life and the way that they've gone. And a lot of this, or I don't want to say a lot of it, but there is a good amount of this that is coming from the true source of all things. Real truth. And I know that my family loves me. But I have a lot of triggers in my family that make me feel weak. Make me feel less than, because I trained myself to be less than because I was afraid to show who I really was, because I didn't want to make anybody feel bad. I didn't want to make anybody feel inferior. I didn't want to make anybody feel a certain way when nobody ever was or could have been inferior, even if they fucking wanted to. It was all a very clever, maniacal scheme. And this is what the darkness does. They do all of this in the darkness, which is very pathetic, actually, if you really think about it. It's very pathetic. The exact opposite of empathetic. Very pathetic. And they can only do it in the darkness because that's the only power that they have, is to do everything that they do in the darkness. You know? And even their ability to get them to hate, to get you to hate them so deeply, so darkly. What you resist, what you hate, what you resist, you persist. So it's not bad to feel passionately angry about something that is very unjust and very wrong. Don't get that skewed. But you know, it's because Yeshua himself, Yeshua ben Yosef, Jesus son of Joseph, Yeshua son of Joseph, whatever way you want to look at it, he used righteous anger in such a beautiful fucking way. And actually, when I had watched a video from Samuel B. Lee, because he is he is, ever since he was a very young child, he was a lover. Ever since he was 16, really, that's when he really developed his love for the archetype of Jesus, and very, very likely the real person who was Jesus or Yeshua. And he explained the way that he described Yeshua going into the temples and exemplifying how angry he was because of what they had turned his father's house into. Using a whip, probably not to whip people, but to scare the fuck out of people, and to let them know that if you were to be whipped by this man, you would be fucked. You know? Because a righteous anger and a righteous fury, Jesus, Yeshua, was a warrior. He wasn't just a peaceful, passive person. No. No. I'm not going to argue with people about that. He was somebody who was willing to make a point without hurting people, but was able to do that. And isn't that a beautiful fucking thing? I'm like, all throughout this video, ever since I started talking about Yeshua, I've been getting these chills down my back, down my spine, all these things. I've been doing a lot of breath work too. I've been doing a lot of breathing, been doing a lot of that stuff. And this is a lot of what Jesus was doing too. From 12 to 33, you know? That's a lot. That's a big thing that people don't really ever think about, is like, you know, he was 11 when he, talked against the priest and talked against his parents. But then where was he for 21 years? 21 fucking years. From 11 to 33. And then he came back, and on the very same year he came back, he chose to be an example of the greatest fucking thing that a human can do for the liberation of all sentient beings. The liberation of all sentient beings. A lot of people think that he was that he was tortured and murdered for all of our sins. No. Go back and fucking read that shit, y'all. And I will never go back and read I want to say I never do it. I don't want to ever read that fucking book again. I'm just going to be fucking totally real. I don't want to ever read a single book ever again, to be totally fucking real. And that's just me. I don't fucking care. I don't need any recommendation for any of that shit, y'all. That's where I'm at. Don't recommend any of that shit to me, y'all. But I know enough to know. I don't need any books. I know that I was who I was looking for the whole fucking time. You are who you've been looking for the whole time. You know why he was really killed? You know why? Most people won't agree with it. But the real reason wasn't because he threw all the money on the floor. Because guess what? Do you know how easy it is to pick up coins off of a floor of a church that you're offering animal blood sacrifices for sins for? Are you, like, just use some fucking critical thinking about this, y'all. Do you know why he was really targeted? Because he unchained and unlocked all of the cages and the gates of the animals that were being used as sacrifices for sins that people were manipulated into believing that they had to do in order to atone, to please a God that is supposedly all loving. All loving, right? Yeah, no, you just have to slit the neck of a fucking animal in order to attain the love of an all-loving God. That doesn't make any sense. Any blood sacrifice, any animal blood sacrifice, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. If you're watching this video and you're listening to this, it's either a wake-up call or it's a fucking repeat message to let you know that that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And it is paganistic as absolute all fucking get-go. Christianity as a whole is actually a blood sacrifice, paganistic, ritualistic religion, which has probably caused the most blood sacrifice of all of the religions, while it's claiming to love Jesus and love and follow Jesus. No, fuck that. No. At the highest levels of Christianity, no, that's not fucking true. And I'm so fucking passionate about this, partially probably because I'm drunk and I need to fucking express this shit. Because otherwise I'm going to destroy everything else in my fucking house. I wanted to destroy everything earlier today. But when you go through a true fucking awakening, a true fasting, and you truly, like, y'all, with like the coffee enemas and shit like that, when you truly fucking empty your vessel and you get down to the root of your childhood traumas and everything like that, it gets really fucking heavy. It gets really fucking brutal. And I'm in a place where I haven't been ever. I mean, ever since I was a very fucking young child. I'm in an adult body, by the way. Obviously. If y'all couldn't tell. Now I look 18 versus, or like 21 versus like what my actual like chronological age. But, you know, I can get into all that. I can go on to so many fucking different tangents now. I don't. What I'm really trying to say here is that religion has corrupted the minds of human beings for so long. There is no religion that is right. There is no religion that is right. There is no man-made religion that is right. There just isn't. I have discovered none that is right, and I don't have any desire to try to discover that. I'm not a religious person. Never have been, never will be, never appealed to me. Never. I just confide in the one that I believe in, the one that created everything and all things, and gave free will, because free will is real. That's a choice. A choice. That's what love is. What is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. What is love? That's the first thing I ever thought about whenever I hear about, like, what is love? I just watched a live stream from Brother Bo, and he said the same fucking thing. I was like, what the fuck? And I literally started singing it at the same goddamn time. The same God blessed time that he sang it, I sang it at the same. I started fucking busted out laughing. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? This is beautiful. This is real. Some of the realest things are stranger than sci-fi. Whatever you think in your mind, whatever has been put there, or whatever you attune to, that's really that's only ever really what the mind is. Whatever you attune to consciously, or whatever is put there unconsciously. All of those things are already real and happening somewhere, some way, somehow. It's not like just some like, it's just some woo woo shit, But that's just what I believe. This is all just sci-fi fantasy, fiction. So, but I'm gonna take another quick bathroom break, y'all. I'll be right back. All right, thank y'all for being patient. I appreciate that. Appreciate that big time. And I feel like this is kind of what this video is culminated to, is that um as much physical healing, as much physical practices, as much of these really truly profoundly beneficial things that we do for ourselves to clean out our temple, which is the temple of the Almighty Creator, temple of God, which is not a male, it's not a he, it's a he, she, it. I really want to clarify this because I feel like a lot of people have this idea that God is a he and is a man and is a bearded man in the sky, or is like a, like a metaphorical he or something, and like that's what God is, and like that's a he. That guy has testicles or whatever the fuck. Fucking ridiculous. Males and females need each other in order to create life. you know if you're called or able to create life in this world. It's a fucking ridiculous argument, but I'm trying to get back to where I'm going here. I'm getting very passionate, which is okay. I'm letting myself do that, and it's for a reason. But as many of these physical things, which are great, that you do for physical detox, health, vitality, and all these things, a lot of times it leads to a very difficult place of really, truly having to deal with uh, something that has been underneath the sediment of shit for a long time. For a long time. Long time. Ever since you came into this world, probably, in your very early years. And something that I've discovered is that I start to really remember what it feels like to be a young child and a young teenager. Those feelings, like the feeling of my surroundings, of being, especially specifically being outside somewhere, whether it's just outside of a house or outside walking down the streets with some good friends or something like that, and just really fucking enjoying life, or the smells of the air, the smells of the outdoors, and all these different things. And it's emotional. I feel these emotions coming on and the tears coming out, and sometimes I can just close my eyes and remember what it feels like to be in that state, and remember just how free I felt. Just how fucking free I felt at those times. Oh, man. And that's real. That's not a fake thing. Actually, what most people experience in society that they have given their life over to, that they think is real. Oh, man. Well, I can hardly fucking function, even in a very limited so-called society. Very limited access, very limited whatever to a lot of people, because I feel so fucking deeply. And I hate it, but I love it at the same time. Love-hate relationship, y'all. Hashtag love-hate in the chat, y'all. In the comments. Let me know if y'all feel it. And if y'all feel it, I'll make more videos about this. I will. Because I feel it all the time. And I felt so much resentment for wanting to make videos like this, especially while I'm drinking, because I don't want to be a negative influence on anybody because of the fact that I'm drinking, but I also know that everybody has their own decisions to make, that I'm not the decider. I am not the decision maker for other people's lives. I'm not. And I don't have to come out here seeming all fucking perfect and shit. I don't. I know that. I made mistakes, and I probably will make many more mistakes. What is a mistake? Mistake. Oh, shit. How many mistakes does Hollywood make before they make a really cool movie or something like that? Or, a lesser known movie studio or whatever the fuck, How many mistakes happens? Probably fucking hundreds, if not thousands. I mean, we're more so talking about an actual human life in that regard, but, thousands, hundreds, who fucking knows how many. But regardless of that, y'all, this has been a pretty long video. I've been ranting quite a bit, and I've been pretty passionate in this video. And I'm gonna call it on this video, unless I get something else to talk about, which I really don't. But I want to send y'all very much love, very much healing, very much gratitude. And then leave any comments if you want to. Any comments or feedback or anything like that. So until next time, shred onwards, always, with whatever you are going through, and so forth. Warriors.